I have found the most chilling psychological series based on a true story. And it literally happened so recently, as in like 30-40 years ago, and it ended in 2010 when the therapist got his license taken away by the New York Health whatever. It is so good. I promise you, you will enjoy it. I promise you. So the show I'm talking about is called The Shrink Next Door, and this is the client here, and at the top in the little window is the therapist. So they meet in 1981. The client here is going through the worst time of his life. Just his fiance left him. He's just low, depressed. He has low self-esteem, low self-worth already as it is. He's vulnerable and he doesn't really have like much going for him in that moment. He owns a family business which is doing pretty well. So he's a millionaire and is really rich. So his rabbi suggests that he goes to see a therapist, that guy. And so the therapist obviously very quickly realizes that this client is very vulnerable, has low self-esteem, low self-worth, and then so starts to find out more about his life and his family, and finds out that he's obviously really rich. So instead of minding his own business, what does he do? He thinks, oh, let me get in on some of that money. So he starts taking him away from his family. He starts feeding him lies, starts gaslighting him, starts slowly manipulating him, so slowly. So it starts little by little, starts spending time with him more than he should. You're not supposed to do that as a therapist. Starts hanging out with him, starts going to events with him, starts meeting his family and vice versa, and starts calling him, and they basically become friends. And then later on, his sister, the client's sister, notices that this therapist is very shady and weird. So the sister tries to tell him, like, leave that therapist, like, don't stay near him. So what does the therapist do? Therapist starts feeding and planting it to him that your family doesn't care about you as much as I do. Client, being silly as he is, doesn't know any better, starts believing that this therapist wants the best for me. He's the only person who really cares about me. So he starts listening to everything the therapist says, starts doing everything he says. And then so he becomes really separated from his family. He stopped speaking to his sister for like 27 years, I think it was. And then the therapist starts chipping away at his money. He starts taking over the family business. He gets his sister fired from the family business because he doesn't want the sister there, because the sister can see that he's shady. And then he starts influencing him to buy houses, of which he starts to live in those houses, starts to move his family into the house, and then starts treating the client as if he's a servant. So the client is not allowed to live in the house, he lives in the guest house. The client is buying stuff for him that he can't even use himself, but the therapist starts using for his own family's luxuries, buying houses and properties and estates for him. So this is them, and this is a true story. I promise you will enjoy it. Go watch it, and like let me know what you think.